Artificial intelligence, noise cancellation, Auracast, tinnitus masking, Bluetooth streaming, and rechargeability. All of this in an over-the-counter hearing aid? Surely not. Not long ago, this mysterious orange parcel landed on my doorstep, laden with technology that we haven't seen before in any over-the-counter hearing aid. So, my mission today is to see if everything that YearSound are claiming is true. Now, as I begin, I'm keen on knowing from you guys watching today which of the features that YearSound are claiming to have are the most important for you. So either noise cancellation, Auracast, Bluetooth streaming, or rechargeability. Let me know in the comments beneath this video so that I can focus my future videos specifically for you going forwards. So here it is, the RIC800, due to be released on October the 1st, 2025. It looks pretty similar to most receiver and canal models from the traditional hearing aid manufacturers. Weighing in at less than 3 grams, you can see here compared to other over-the-counter hearing aids, it's on the lighter side. And you'll be surprised at how easy it is to forget once it's in your ear. I have to admit though, it feels a little strange than being this light. I guess I'm used to traditional hearing aids feeling like they've got a little more to them. You'll notice twin microphones situated here and here, which is all around directionality and essential for improved speech understanding and noise. There are 2 push buttons which act as soft keys for power, volume control and entering aeroplane mode. Finally, you'll notice here the receiver wire which feeds energy and information to the speaker sitting inside your ear. Underneath this rubber tip, of which YearSound provides you with an open, closed tulip or power dome to choose from, depending on your hearing loss, you'll also find a wax filter for hearing aid maintenance that will need changing once every 4 to 6 weeks. I have to be honest, I do worry about all over-the-counter hearing aid manufacturers providing the various tips with very little advice on which is the correct one for you. YearSound do provide more instructions than most in their manual, but I warn you, you should know that the tip on the end of your hearing aids will completely transform how they work. From how well they work in background noise, the clarity they provide, or if you'll hear an annoying sound like this. The subject of the tips on the end of your hearing aids is so important that I have an entire video dedicated to it, which I'll link in the description to today's video. Honestly, this is one area where OTCs as a category fall short when compared to professional fittings in a clinic with an audiologist. Now let's check out the charger and case. For ease of use, removing the hearing aids from the case automatically turns the hearing aids on, meaning that there are no fiddly on and off switches, which I am a big fan of. The USB-C powered case feels sturdy and well made, and it has a nice solid feel to it. As with the majority of traditional and over-the-counter hearing aids, a full charge will take around 3 hours, and for the RIC800s you'll get around 31 hours of battery life per charge, which is reduced to 18 hours if you're one for heavily using the Bluetooth streaming. On top of that, the case itself stores an extra 3 days worth of battery, so that's around an extra 100 hours, meaning that you can charge on the go and you won't be caught short if you're away for a long weekend without a power source. As far as durability goes, they carry an IPX8 rating, which is a similar protection rating to the majority of over-the-counter hearing aids, so it's as tough as it gets within this class, meaning that it's perfect for sweat and for rain, and in the lab this means that they can be submerged in 1.5 meters of water for 30 minutes and they should still function afterwards. Now, saying that, I still wouldn't recommend swimming in any hearing aid, but if you're worried about splashes, then you needn't. Now, whilst traditional hearing aids have an IP68 rating, making them a little bit more robust technically based on the rubber stamp that they've got, I've been reliably informed by the YearSound lab that they've really pushed the boundaries when testing the RIC800 hearing aids. And they've not just tested them for an hour and a half, but in fact they've tested them in water tanks for months on end to still find that they work perfectly afterwards. Impressive. Now, if you're somebody who loves numbers, these things have 16 channels, they've got an equivalent input noise of less than 20 decibels and a fitting bandwidth of 10 kilohertz. They also come pre-fitted with a size 3 wire, however you can choose from either 1 to 4 in terms of wire length. The demo set that I received was size 3, and YearSound state that this fits around 90% of users, but if you need another size, then it's possible to contact the company beforehand and they'll send out the appropriate size for you. The only flaw that I see with this is, how do you know which size you need before they come? I personally think that they and all RIC style OTC hearing aid manufacturers need a better solution for this. Now, you guys watching must be familiar with hearing aids having Bluetooth built into them nowadays, which has two main advantages. Firstly, it allows for you to stream either the radio, music, or podcasts, or phone calls directly from your phone to your OTC hearing aids. And then secondly, using their app, you can make adjustments to the sound, selecting from their various programs, such as adaptive, general, noisy, outdoors, or music. And then you can also adjust the volume, the AI noise reduction settings, or utilize their 3-point graphic equalizer. And then finally, you can adjust the directionality, i.e. which way the microphones are pointing, with 3 options to choose from all around, forward, and focus. So there are plenty of settings for you to adjust, and there is plenty of flexibility built into the app. What I can't find, however, is the ability to test your hearing using the app at this moment in time, which, as it's possible to do this natively using most smartphones now, for an OTC hearing aid launching in 2025, not having a built-in hearing test feels a little bit like a missed opportunity. Other OTC competitors have baked this into their technology, and Yeasound need to catch up quickly, as I would have thought that all OTC hearing aid manufacturers would have included this within the setup process to ensure fully tailored devices. After a bit of further research, I've spoken to Yeasound and they've told me it will be coming soon. The sooner the better, in my opinion. They do allow you to choose your hearing type from high frequency to all frequency and to medium sound enhancement, depending on your loss. But I'm not entirely sure how you'll know as a layperson which is going to be the right setup for you and your specific hearing loss. So again, I think they're missing a bit of a trick here. What I am delighted by is to share that these OTC hearing aids are pretty unique in the sense that they sport Auracast broadcasted audio. And if you haven't heard of this new wave of tech, then hold on to your hats because this is going to get bumpy. If you've ever walked into a train station and missed the announcements, or arrived at a football game and wished that you could have heard the commentary, or perhaps you've even been stood in line waiting for a coffee at Starbucks and not heard somebody calling your name from afar. Well, this incredible new technology will allow for public venues to stream any sound with a higher quality and lower battery consumption than we've seen from any other streaming technology in the past, directly to both of your ears. Now, Yeasound aren't alone in installing this in their hearing tech, but they are unique in the over-the-counter hearing aid world, and we've already started to see Auracast broadcasted audio replace the century-old loop systems built into public venues, which allow for multiple hearing aid users to simultaneously connect to the source of the sound. Now, the downside of this is that it's only as good as how many venues have installed the transmitters, and at the time of making this video, we're still in the development stage. However, I'm delighted to see that most hearing aid manufacturers are readying their tech for the rollout of these transmitters. As a huge number of those of you out there with hearing loss are likely to experience tinnitus too, you'll be pleased to hear that YearSound have included a built-in tinnitus masker for basic tinnitus relief, providing you with nature sounds to distract you from your tinnitus. All of the paraphernalia provided with this technology says that these hearing aids should therefore help you to sleep better, but I think that Yeasound have got their wires crossed a little bit, as it's unlikely that you'll be wearing these whilst you sleep. However, I think it's a nice additional feature that they've included to help more people with tinnitus. So the big question is, are these over-the-counter hearing aids suitable for you? Technically, if you have a perceived mild to moderate sensor in your hearing loss, then yes, they are. If you've got a more severe hearing loss, or you want the gold standard real ear verification and professional follow-up process, then prescription hearing aids may well be a safer bet. Today is just a snapshot, and I'll be testing them to their full capacity in the near future. If you're on a mission researching hearing aids and trying to look for the best tech for you, then I'd recommend checking out this video.